Hi guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would really love you to hit the subscribe button so that you can watch more videos like this, because we're going to be making more for you.
And if you like this video, you can hit like below, and also we're really keen to know what questions you've got for us, and we'll be doing some videos on those, so drop some comments below for that too.
Thanks.
Bye. Hi there, it's Beck and Deb from Dare to Be You with some simple spirituality for a great life. And we were having a conversation this morning about what we want to do a video on next, and Deb wildly threw it out there that she wanted to talk about non-duality and creativity. So, great topic, Deb. Get us started.
Well, I've noticed an awful lot of people looking towards non-duality at the moment, whether that's just in the circle of people that I move in, I don't know, but it seems to be, people have moved a little bit from the three principles and talking about it in that way, and moved on to talking a lot about non-duality and the oneness of life and the fact that there is no you and me. And I can definitely say, when I came across this understanding, in a nutshell, I kind of came across the three principles and saw how enormously helpful it would be to me. And then I saw, oh gosh, my children, my nieces, everybody needs to know about this because it will be hugely helpful. And then as I continued to look in that direction, what I saw was there was no me that needed to know this, and there was no other people that needed to know this. And that was the most helpful thing for me to live a happy, fulfilled life. So it's a huge paradox, and I know we talk about this, about this place of balance, because it can absolutely look, when we look towards non-duality and we kind of say, hey, I don't exist as a separate entity, there is no separate me from Beck, we are all one. It can get incredibly confusing about, oh, so what can I do then? What is mine to do? What should I do out in the world? And what I have seen around this, and the way we speak about this, is about this place of balance that we go to. That life invites us to step up. Life invites us to act as if we have control, to act as if we can do these things. And I love being creative. I really enjoy sewing. The other day I got my sewing machine out and I was creating all sorts of things for us to wear when we're going away at the weekend. I love doing things. And I know, sometimes when we talk about non-duality and talk about not being a separate entity, it's very easy to get into that place of, oh, well, I'm not making any decisions, I can't do anything. But it's definitely for me that place where life, I have thoughts, I have suggestions come into my head to do things, and then I step up and do them, and I create. I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, and I think kind of for me what I see around that as you were talking was I was just seeing this ongoing circle, this, I'm going to say circle of life, and we're all going to start singing the Lion King. But it does seem to be this ongoing circle that in one moment I feel utterly connected and I feel that oneness and that anything I do is all part of everything. And then in the next moment I'm entirely me, I'm entirely separate. I'm having my own experience of life and you can't possibly know what's going on for me. And I just see that continually going on, like it moves and it keeps moving, and it's designed to do, we are designed to do that.
Absolutely.
We're designed to go in and out of the experience of oneness and in and out of the experience of separate humanness. And I think when you first started talking to me about kind of non-duality and oneness, there was a little element that kind of sparked me, and I thought, oh yeah, I can see something there. And then in maybe the next moment or the next week, I can't remember specifically, but I then had some sort of experience of Becky having a bad day or a relationship meltdown or whatever it was, and in that moment it can be helpful to know that you're part of this oneness, and equally at times it's helpful to know that you're going to have your human experience that's yours, that only you're really having. And I think for me, a huge part of this conversation is knowing both of those things.
Absolutely. It's
knowing that both of those exist at the same time. That paradox you were talking about. They coexist. And we get very used to saying, oh, if this is true, then that can't be true. And we're not that I don't think that's always very helpful. I think it's way more helpful to be open to the idea that if this is true and this is true at the same time, what does that open up for us? And that for me is where the kind of what we term non-duality or oneness comes into play. That it's both true that we are one and we are connected, and everything that happens is happening through and to all of us. Equally, I'm a human being called Becky that's having this human experience. And both of those things can be true at the same time. And that's a bit of a mind bender. So it's a heavy one today.
But I think what I've seen around that as well, like when you were speaking, what was coming to me is that for me, what really works and what I like to do is it looks to me as if I've got the best of both worlds. Yeah. And when I get into a bad space, it kind of feels like I've got the worst of both worlds. Yeah. And it feels like when I wasn't doing very well in my life, it looked like on this whole, even though I wasn't aware of it and wouldn't have spoken it in that way, this whole connection thing was a pain, and the whole being just me was a pain. You know, it was really difficult to take the whole world onto my shoulders and everybody's okayness be down to me. And then there was this whole, oh gosh, and everybody else, I'm connected to them all, so you know, I'm responsible. It just felt, and what I have seen since I came across this understanding, what I've seen that this points to is in those moments when I feel like I'm a separate Debra and I'm, you know, this is me in the world, I can experience the absolute exquisite joy of having a personal experience. Wow. You know, that's mind-blowing.
That's amazing.
And then when I feel lost and alone, it kind of feels like I can come back to this knowing that I am a part of this greater energy, and I'm never on my own. And this, you know, keeping the world going is never up to me. It's never, I have no responsibility whatsoever. In those moments when I feel lost and alone, I can give that responsibility. I don't have to do that. And yet in those moments when life invites me to be creative, to create a life I love, to have that amazing personal experience, wow, I've got that as well. I can do that. And that to me, kind of always looking, definitely what I would be pointing people towards is always look to what is helping you in this moment. Is it helpful to be an individual? Does that feel good? Does that feel like, yeah, wow, I'm going to create something amazing. Me, I'm going to do this. Go for it. Or does it feel, you know, if you're lost and alone, does it feel good to know that nothing is on you? Do you know what? You can relax and life is just going to live through you. And that to me gives us the opportunity to have the best human experience, and the knowing of the truth of who we are rolled into one is just amazing.
Yeah, and like moment by moment it will change as to which one's helpful.
Absolutely. We're not fixed into.
And the one of the things we've kind of reflected on recently is this idea of kind of stepping stones. If you come to a river and you need to get across, and the stepping stones, they are incredibly helpful things when you need to get across a river. And the first, you know, you step onto the first stepping stone. In that moment, that stepping stone is exactly what you need, exactly where you need it. And as you move on to the next stepping stone, if you were to pick up the one that you just stepped off, that's going to weigh you down. That's not going to be helpful. And the further you go across the river, the more stones you pick up, the more you're going to be weighed down, the more you're carrying stuff you really don't need. Because in any given moment, the stepping stone you're on, the place you're in, that's the exact stone you need there and then. And that's exactly what we're saying here. In any given moment, if you're having the human experience and it's helpful to be reminded you're actually part of something bigger, that's the perfect stepping stone. And if you're having a moment where you really need to be enjoying and creating your human life, it's perfect to know that you can do that.
So again, it's that place of amazing balance. And we know when we've moved out of that balance because our feelings are always informing us. However much it looks like our feelings are telling us about someone else or the outside world, they're telling us that we've moved out of that place of balance.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.